all the lights turn off?
A few moments later.
My bike died.
Bike died?
Yep.
That was not just the first day. That was like 10 miles into our ride of our adventure. Let me take you to the beginning. We actually flew from New York because that was the only direct flight to India. So we took the Amtrak up. And then we took off and flew to New Delhi. So this is where the shenanigans began. Because we went an international flight, and typically international flight will give you 2 luggages at around 23 kilograms or 50 pounds. So each bag you'll have 50 pounds or 23 kilograms that you can put in. And we already knew that the domestic flight was going to give you less. So we booked a premium ticket that says, went from 1 luggage 15 kilogram to 2 luggage 20 kg. So we packed our bags at 20 kg. So when we go from the international flight to the domestic flight, there will be no issue. But alas, we still got screwed because apparently the premium ticket that we paid, it's 2 luggages for a grand total of 20 kg. So I was literally 20 kilograms overweight. I had to pay over $100 to get that luggage on all my gear with me. And then the second shenanigans happened. The second shenanigans happened when I went through the security checkpoint with all my electronics. Battery pack, center head unit, GPS. And then once I went through the security checkpoint, they took everything out to look through everything. Normal. Put everything back in. Normal. Except for my GPS. They looked at my GPS and the guy looked at me and said, "This is a military device." And I looked at him dead in the eye. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gonna say that to me in a straight face? It says Garmin GPS on there. And obviously they were trying to create an environment where I'm panicking, I have to get on the plane. So then I give them my GPS. Right? Because if I give it to them, they didn't violate anything. They just was being thorough. They didn't understand it, quote unquote. And then I gave them my GPS. They throw it in the trash can that they know where it is. And then they pick it up and take it home at the end of the day. And then they either sell it or they just got a $500 GPS. Whatever it might be, I know this game. I've been to plenty of countries. So I just waited there. But the extent of which they are committed to push this nonsense was ridiculous because they waited until the last minute. Like my flight was supposed to have taken off in 5 minutes. And then they finally looked at it. The guy opened up Google and was like, "Oh, it's a GPS." Well, no kidding. So then I grabbed my stuff and I went to the plane. And the only reason I made it was because they were trying to change the food cart and it was wrong. So then it delayed another like 10 minutes and I got on the plane. I was literally the last person. They were waiting for me at the gate. But I didn't lose my GPS. So we finally made our way to Dehradun and we met up with the 2 friends that we actually never met before. We just met online and we got a taxi together and then we made it to our hotel in the city. Once we got to the hotel, we unpacked and got something to eat. And to our surprise, after dinner, all 4 bikes showed up in the garage. And we picked our bikes and then we went to bed. Next morning, everybody got up, ate breakfast, and we went to pack our bikes. Once we got all the bikes loaded, we figured out what was needed, what was missing. Some of the bikes needed different racks, and we sent that to the owner, and they were very helpful. And by early afternoon, I would say like everything was taken care of, and the owner actually came by to help us do some route planning. Very nice guy. And he dropped off 3 out of the 4 bikes paperwork, missing 1, mine. And that should have been a sign. We weren't going to leave that day anyways because we just got there and we were going to wait another day anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. So we said, you know what, we'll just wait till tomorrow, get the paperwork by tomorrow, and then we'll take off when you get us the paperwork. So he promised the paperwork by that night, if not the morning after, very early, and then we can leave. Seems like everything's falling in place. After the planning session, we finalized a few things. Me and Fidon only has 17 days. The other guys has much longer, but we only have 17 days. And out of the 17 days, 4 of them are already spoken for. 2 of arrival and 2 of departure. And those are non-negotiables. Like, you need those times to get back, relax, and then get on the plane. So we're really only working with 13 days here. With 13 days, the best case scenario is for us to take 2 days to go up, 2 days to return, and that gives us 19 days to look around. But realistically, it'll probably 4 days up, 4 days back, which gives us 5 days. Now, at the worst case scenario, it'll take us 6 days to get up top and 6 days to come back down, which means we only have 1 day at the top. Regardless of whichever scenario happens, we only have one goal. It's just to make it up to Khardun La. Why? Khardun La is an extreme high elevation pass. Now, I've been to a lot of high elevation passes, but to put it in perspective, Khardun La is about the same level as Everest Base Camp. The second reason for this uniqueness is Khardun La is the port that comes into India of the original Silk Road coming in from Kashgar, China. So we thought we were good to go, except Mother Nature has something else to say about it. It rained cats and dogs that night. Power was constantly going out, and it was a flood of river in the streets. There's 2 big issues that comes from this. One, if it continues to rain during the day, we're definitely not leaving. And 2, even if it stops raining, how many roads are going to be closed because of the landslides that's caused by the rain? Well, we're about to find out. Now we're at day 3. Yeah.
Well, we're on day 3 technically, and we got the bikes yesterday, but I still don't have my paperwork. Everybody else has their paperwork. My bike was waiting for the luggage, and then now my bike is waiting for the documents like the title to the bike and whatnot. So yeah, and then it poured like crazy last night, and then the news said that there's going to be more rain, so hopefully that does not mean that there's going to be landslides and then we won't be able to get to some of the high mountain passes. But the storms are isolated. Maybe we'll get lucky, maybe we won't. But first thing first, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm sitting in this hotel room for 2 days, like waiting for stuff. And of course, we're already paying for the bike at $30 a day, and like I can't ride anywhere because I don't have any papers. So this is problematic. To top it off, this hotel is like basically like one of the best hotels in the strip, if not the best hotel in the strip. But the power gets tripped every hour or every 30 minutes, depending on when you turn the AC on, and then it's just constant on and off. It's quite ridiculous.
So yeah, we literally went nowhere on day 3. We sat around and waited for the paperwork. It was okay, I guess. We're finally here on day 4. We were promised the paperwork the second day when we went through the whole planning process. And if it wasn't then, it was the next morning. And we waited next day, whole entire day, didn't get it. And it was maybe this morning we were gonna get it, and we still didn't get it. So it's 8 o'clock now, and we're still waiting for my papers, my bike, and everybody is definitely frustrated. So we might end up having to go back upstairs and eat the free breakfast, since we can't leave until get the papers. So we were all very frustrated. And by 11 o'clock, we still haven't heard from the owner about the paperwork. So me and Fedon rode over to the shop to ask him in person because we're just blindly waiting. We get there, he's not there. And then we call somebody to get him there so we can talk about it. Apparently he was still at home. It was like 11 o'clock, almost noon. He was still at home. And eventually, after I think about a good hour later, he finally showed up and he was like, "Oh, I was just gonna mail it to you. You guys can leave. How can you guys still be here?" He thought we already left. And now we are gonna leave. But now it's the worst time of the traffic that you can imagine going out of Dehradun. But we left anyways.
There you go. Damn, man, that shit is broken and not secure well. Woo. Whatever. Where are we going? Straight? Wow. Wow, this is a straight... What the fuck? This is a straight road? Yo! Come on. Oh, I hit somebody. Hey, all the lights turn off. The check engine light, my bike died.
Bike died?
Yep.
We didn't even make it out of the city. Yeah. And we got there, it must have been easily over 100 degrees. We were sweating bullets. There was no airflow. We were on this corner bend of this road and it was miserably hot. Luckily, there was a coconut stand there, so I bought some coconut. But the remainder of the time waited, I had made a little video documentary and you can watch it.
So we got 50 minutes into the ride, maybe not even, and my bike's stator decided to crap out. I used the jumper, jumped it twice. It wouldn't stay idling. Call our guy, and he said he's quote unquote coming. We know how long that's gonna take. It took us an hour just to get 20 miles, maybe not even. So, yep, bought a coconut and just waiting. Maybe we'll get another battery, ride it back to the shop and fix it. So we've been waiting for our guy for I don't know, it's been at least an hour standing out here waiting. He said he was coming 20 minutes ago. It's been at least half an hour. And then he just texted Dustin that he's on his way. And we decided to come down, and Guy found a place that sells the battery. And somebody's gonna swap a battery in for us, but the stator is likely to be bad. So hopefully when he shows up, he comes with a proper stator. But I probably wouldn't trust the battery either since it's completely drained. And it doesn't seem like it's holding a charge either, so there's a lot of different problems. He was trying to sell us a battery for 1,000 rupees, which is like 12 bucks. And it turns out, we're like, if it's not the right one or if it's not charged, can we bring it back? He's like, no, just push it over here. So we pushed it like 2 blocks down the road, and it's the wrong battery. Thank goodness we pushed it over here. We would have just gave away 1,000 rupees. Had a battery on the side of the road. So now he's trying to figure out if he has another battery that's similar. But I mean, yeah. Gotta take a look at this battery. And this thing is duct taped together. The one that came out of my bike. Look at this thing. I mean, this is just trash. Like, it's probably a defect battery, but it could be the battery, it could be the stator. The likelihood that it's the stator is much higher because it doesn't want to idle, but you know, the battery could have also massive drain and it doesn't keep the stator running. Who knows? So my guys here brought a stator and infra battery, and we are getting a new stator and a remanufactured battery, I guess, and hopefully we'll be on our way soon. Hopefully it'll hold a charge. I mean, like, I don't really know. This is has been quite the disaster. I already hit my my target adventure weight diet. I lost at least 10 pounds in water weight. More bad news. The stator that he got was the wrong one, and it's already 1 o'clock right now. It's 12:50, and it took him nearly an hour to get here with the stator. So who knows? Who knows what's the next option? Because this is quite problematic. If we end up stuck here for another day, we're putting the old battery back. The battery came out 11.6, 11.5 volts, so it's probably okay. It's pretty damn dead, but it's gonna, you know, maybe when the stator comes, once we loaded it up, we'll be able to see if it'll have like a 14 volt charging voltage. Look at this guy. He's just chilling over there in the backyard. Been waiting for things to get fixed. Just walking around the sheds. People live in this little hut or makeshift huts. Holy shit. Look at all these goats. It's crazy. The cow's staring at me. He's like, who's this guy? People live here. Look at that. We got internet. Oh, look at this. Those coconuts? Our guy's back with the new stator. And we have our first accident.
No, our first accident was you crashing.
Yeah, that's right. The first accident was me crashing. That's right. But that was on video. Man, it's really jacked up that tail light. The stator didn't do the trick. It might be the rectifier. Or the rectifier as well. So we had to get a new bike. Took all my stuff out on the ground, and we're gonna transfer the rack. They're gonna go get another bike for me, and yeah, we lost pretty much the whole day.
After all that hours and hours of waiting, and standing there, sweating bullets, they have to give me a new bike. Which means they have to go back or have somebody there bring a new bike over, which is another hour of waiting before the bike shows up. It was absolutely ridiculous. After getting a new bike, we made our way as far as we could before we called it a night, and we ended in this town called Nahan. Finally, we got out of the town that we started in. We're in Nahan, and we got at a hotel, and we went out to get something to eat. In case you're wondering, he was handling the food, putting his hand in the food, serving the food, and handling all the money that people are handing him. Very surprised that nobody got sick. We already lost 2 days, right? We waited an extra day for the paperwork, and then also today we barely gone anywhere, so we already lost 2 days. The next 3 days is even more crazy. Stay tuned.